All right, good afternoon, traders. Hopefully, everyone is having a good day today. All three market indices up today. Now, before I get into the show, I really do want to thank all my subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Now, if you're not a subscriber and you happen to be watching the show, go ahead and do so. I really do think you're going to get a lot of valuable information from my technical analysis. All right, with that, anyone who does watch the show, we do go over the SPY every day. Then I go over the three stocks that I had recommended the previous day, and then I'll give you three stocks that look promising going into tomorrow. All right, guys, with that, we are going to go over the SPY. All right, so as you know, we had a decent day today in the SPY. We did gap up. We did close a little lower. We're still in that upper Bollinger Band area, but guys, one thing does concern me is the how tight these Bollinger Bands are becoming. The upper and the lower are starting to close in on each other, and usually what that signifies a move, either a breakout or a breakdown, a quick move one way or another. So I don't think we really have to worry about that until next year, but I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that situation where when you see these Bollinger Bands getting extremely constricted like this, you'll see a big move. Now, when you do see that big move, and hopefully if you're long, it goes higher, then all of a sudden that's a great sign, right? Because now all the moving averages start to move up. We'll start making obviously higher highs, and then we can trade off levels that are lower than us at that point, right? So, but if we do see a move lower next week, early January, again, to key off these key levels and don't be too concerned until we start breaking down, let's say, below that 10 SMA, below that midpoint Bollinger Band consistently, not like a one touch and then back, right? A one touch, lower, and then a continuation of that. Then if that were to happen, then we'll definitely have to have this 50-day moving average come into play at some point. Okay, that is the SPY. All right, guys, with that, let's go over the three stocks that I did recommend yesterday. But before I do so, I just want to go over and explain how frustrating trading can be. So, anyone who watched the show from yesterday, I was long NETE yesterday. I got long intraday for a day trade. I said, if you remember from the previous day show, I did say, look, get long if 1246 gets taken out on the upside. If that were to happen, you should see this run. But unfortunately, it started really good in the beginning of the day. It took that out. I got long, and then I got stopped out right around $12 in NETE. In fact, it did close near the lows of the day, so I felt like I did pretty well, right? Because then I thought, okay, now it's just going to start to drift lower. But unfortunately for me, it did gap up and went a lot higher. It did go up 44% today. It was up, over $16.30. It closed up. It actually went up over $19. So I did, I was looking at that today, and that's when you just scratch your head and go, wow. That's unbelievable, right? Just one day prior to that, I was, I got stopped out at 12, and then it just went all the way up to 16. But that's how trading is. You have to brush those things off. I just wanted to show you that people do make mistakes. I don't know enough about the company. I was just trading technicals at that point, but but sometimes knowing the company fundamentally is even more important than the technicals. Okay, that's, I guess, what my point is. Okay, that is NETE. All right, guys, with that, let's check out three stocks that I did recommend from yesterday and how they fared. The first one in the queue is BLNK. All right, so BLNK, ever since that massive move from, let's call it, when did that come out? Let's say from June, I would say, right? No, I'm sorry, from November. We've held this 10 SMA, this midpoint Bollinger Band. It did gap up. It did gap higher today. It did hold this 10 SMA right here. So if you are long the name, stay long, guys. And I wasn't able to get in. It did gap a lot higher. It opened $3 higher, and I didn't want to get in. It only retreated to about a dollar from that opening price. Didn't feel comfortable getting in. But if you are in BLNK, my opinion is just to use this 10 SMA right here as your stop price. So as time goes out and price goes up, this will also continue to go higher. And so any close below that 10 SMA, you may see some selling. Okay, that is BLNK. Next stock on the list that I did recommend from yesterday, BABA. This one too gapped up higher, had a really nice open at 243. It did sell off throughout the day. So again, if you did get into this name, watch these key levels right here. Clearly that low of 212 needs to hold. So I would buy this either on some more strength up here, wait till the technicals turn around on it, and or see if it does come back down and start to retest that 212 area right there. Maybe you can start scaling in down here a little bit. Okay, that is BABA. Last stock that I had recommended from yesterday was AAOI. This one actually underperformed the whole market. I did say try to get long if it were to take the previous day's high. It did not do that. If you are in the name now, you're at an inflection point. You're right there at that 50-day moving average. So in my opinion, if you want to get long the name, you know the company, I would get long either or add to my position above today's high and then clearly use this midpoint Bollinger Band right down here at $8.44 as my out. So any close below that, I would be out of the name. So your risk reward setup is 20 cents at most on this one. So take a look at that one. If you know the company and you know it well and you know what they're doing, again, be a buyer. I'm just giving you the technicals and where I see traders, where they would be trading off of. So any break below that midpoint Bollinger Band, you might see some sort of escalation of selling. Okay, that is AAOI. All right, let's go into three stocks that look good going into tomorrow. First one's going to be TLRY. Really, really like this one. Do own shares of this company. Very excited about that merger. As you know, from when that merger was announced back here on the 16th of December, it drifted lower, bounced off that 10 SMA, and then it started going back below that 10 and that midpoint Bollinger Band. It looks like it wants to hold this 50-day moving average. If we start getting a little bit of a tailwind and we start getting above that value area high, let's call it $9.90. And remember, guys, that value area is where 70% of those trades have occurred. That means if we can get above that, that will be a really nice base for us going forward, okay? Especially a nice little tailwind going into the merger and then going into next year. I have no, fundamentally, I have no, reason to think this won't be a successful cannabis company. I really do think it's going to compete with Canopy Growth, and they have a $10 billion market cap. So I can see these guys at least doubling in price at some point in the future. Okay, that is TLRY. Use this more of a swing trade, maybe a little bit more of a long-term trade. If you do want to get in the name, remember, guys, put your stop below this 50-day moving average, though. Any close below that 50-day moving average, which happens to be at 770, you need to bail on this one, okay? All right, that's TLRY. Be a buyer tomorrow. Next stock that looks pretty good is OSUR. Just a real nice setup for tomorrow. We hit this lower Bollinger Band yesterday and today. So if you see a takeout of that 1093, which is yesterday's high, we need to start catching a little bit of a bid on this one. So your risk reward setup on this is really tight. If you get long tomorrow at 1093, make sure you use today's low right down here at 1024 as you're out. Okay, that is OSUR. Last stock on the list that looks really good is NIO. This is one that we've played in the past. Had this really massive run since let's call it early June. One thing since this massive run, it's held this 50-day moving average. Super nice, and it did again yesterday. Okay, so it looks like it's poised to run. If you take a look at this right here, I'd be a buyer on some strength tomorrow, and then clearly use this 50-day moving average right down here at 42.56 as my out. But remember, again, as time goes out and and price goes up, this will continue to go up as well. So this is a dynamic moving average. So any close below that, guys, I would be out of the name. Okay, but because again, look, ever since we've had that move, this is held nicely, so we need this to continue for this trend to continue, okay? That is NIO. Let's bring this up on a few other charts real quickly. There we go. Oh, does not want to do that. Well, take my word for it, guys. NIO right now is setting up real nicely on all the other charts. The 513 and the weekly charts look really good. So again, be a buyer above today's high, and then obviously use that 50-day moving average to have your stop set right there. Okay, guys. All right. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Hopefully everyone had a good day today. And again, my name is Eric. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments section, or go ahead and like it if you enjoy the show. And please become a subscriber. I really do think you're going to get a lot of valuable information from my technical analysis. All right, everyone, have a great evening. We will see you probably not tomorrow since it's New Year's Eve. I'll probably do what I did last week, where I wrap. I'm going to wrap the the Sunday's show and how we fared, and then give you the 3 stocks for tomorrow and all that. Okay, or for Monday rather. All right, everyone, have a great night, and we will see you Sunday.